High Tide stock is at a very interesting point right now as we head towards earnings on June the 13th. I've already been told that this time period for Canadian companies in general tends not to be that fantastic when it comes to expansion and revenue growth. However, the key things I'm interested in hearing about are regarding any news on mergers and acquisitions, as I heard an interesting rumor that there might be something announced on that front, as well as how they're doing insofar as opening new stores while maintaining free cash flow positivity in the quarter. As long as it sounds like they're executing on the plan, as previously stated, I will be pretty satisfied. I'm happy to accumulate the stock in this price point because, again, the free cash flow and the growth seem to justify it. And of course, the revenue has been a little bit slower growing lately. However, in the last earnings, Raj Grover did say they were going to try to reaccelerate this while maintaining free cash flow positivity overall. Revenue growth combined with positive free cash flow is what I want to see over the long term. But one quarter that isn't particularly amazing isn't going to deter me. And the primary ratio I think I'll be looking at during my accumulation phase to ensure the business is still cheap in relative terms will be the price to operating cash flow. This is because the operating cash flow is the cash flow before capital expenditures are subtracted, which would then result in the free cash flow. If they're going to be resuming building out new stores, opening new stores probably comes with a lot of CapEx. And while I still want the free cash flow to be positive, I don't think looking at a straight multiple of that is necessarily giving credit to the business, as if they want to up their free cash flow, they could just drop their CapEx for a couple quarters and their free cash flow would go up substantially. This is simply the number that says how much cash flow they produce from their operations before the capital expenditures are subtracted out. The better their operating cash flow is, the more healthy the underlying business is, and the cheaper the company is based on that operating cash flow, the better things will be once they've taken the market share that they want to take and built out the stores that they want to build out. And I think that this gives me a better idea of what I'm actually paying for the business, more so than a straight up price to free cash flow. I would also tend to rate their balance sheet as relatively healthy. They do have some net debt. However, I don't think this is excessive when compared to the close to $30 million in cash that they have on hand. They have a little over double the amount of debt as they have cash, or almost half as much cash as they have debt. So they could make the payment for quite some time. And once again, if you think of this in terms of their operating cash flow, meaning if they slowed down all capital expenditures and basically this all hit free cash flow, they would be able to pay back all of their net debt in maybe around a year and a half or so. That's not very bad. I also like how it seems in the last handful of quarters that the operating cash flow has become sort of more consistently within a certain range. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this number comes out in the next earnings, because the operating cash flow will tell us a story. I've heard that this next quarter will be rough for a lot of Canadian companies in general. So if they put up a decent number in the coming earnings release, even during what is a rough quarter, that will just tell me how strong this business truly is. I think it's no secret at this point that I really like this stock. There are analysts out there, of course, who agree with me on this, but I think it's extremely important to form an opinion all your own without relying solely on the opinions of others. I was convinced by a very strong and sound argument to look into this stock, but I still had to like what I saw. in order to make the leap and actually buy it. I suggest that before you even consider it, that you do the same. After all, High Tide has a relatively small market cap, just under 200 million as of the recording of this video, which makes it really susceptible and volatile. Any change in sentiment could send it flying way high or crashing into the ground. And it takes a certain type of investor to be comfortable investing in these smaller market cap stocks. Certainly, the majority of the stocks I am in are much larger than this one, although I don't go after anything like the Magnificent Seven. This is still a small market cap, even for my tastes. Not everyone out there that invests is comfortable with the idea of extreme volatility. And just to be straight, and I'll give you a little reminder by bringing up the chart on this stock, it has been a pretty volatile stock in terms of its price movement over the course of the time it's been publicly traded. I personally have a history of being able to tolerate massive swings in share price in stocks that I've owned. Sometimes good swings, sometimes down swings, but I have the patience, and if I have the conviction, I've been able to withstand that. Not everybody can, and this is just one of those harsh truths that you should really think about before you jump in. It's simple enough to avoid massive volatility simply by being a boglehead and doing index ETF investing, VOO, SPY, VT, etc. But if you are a fellow high tide investor, I encourage you to comment below. Let me know if you plan on listening to the earnings call. I know I want to listen to it depending on what time of day it is. I'm considering doing a live stream or a reaction of some kind, actually, if there'd be a demand. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Make sure you like the video for the algorithm. Help me get my videos out there, get more views. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Mr. Macho Mog, link in the description. Every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm on Cashflow Kings, link in the description. Discord, link in the description to discuss stocks like High Tide every single day. Take it easy, everyone.